Hey folks, welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel and here to the Canadian International Auto Show in Toronto. We're over here at Nissan right now and they've brought out two super cool concepts that I want to show you. This is the Frontier Trailgator and this is the Frontier Tarmac concept. One of these is about going off-road into the wilderness and the other one is about going around corners fast on a racetrack. Now right now, let me show you all the features on these concepts and then we're going to talk about the 2025 Frontier, how it fits into the marketplace with a special guest, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's dive into the details now on this Tarmac concept. So first of all, under the hood, you're still getting a 3.8 liter V6 like every other Frontier, but here they've added a cold air intake and a supercharger. This thing is putting out 400 horsepower. Now the next thing you're gonna notice, the wide body kit, it's also lowered and there's loads of carbon fiber that has been used on this concept to keep it light. And yes, it is a street truck, but it's not just about going around corners fast, it's also about drifting. So Nissan has added a unique drift handle to the interior, and there's actually two different sets of brake rotors in the back. The standard set, and then the second set just works off of that drift handle to help you initiate those drifts and slide this truck all over the place. These wheels are truly something special. They are carbon barreled, so you can see the outer rim here uses that carbon, the inner doesn't, but it's just such a beautiful looking wheel. It's also 20 inches here using a set of Yokohama high performance tires. And behind those wheels is a totally custom prototype Nismo suspension setup with adjustable coilovers. Now I think we all recognize most of what's on this truck is just for fun. It's a one-off concept build. However, something like prototype performance suspension, that is something I could see coming to production one day. So you know what, I don't expect to see this thing on the street anytime soon, but maybe we will get something like this suspension offered to consumers in the near future. Now let's take a closer look at this truck, the Trailgator, and they call it that because this is about bringing that tailgate experience out into the wilderness with you. And there's a lot of one-off features here too. However, I want to start with just the actual Nismo accessories because a lot of what you see here is available for sale. Things like the bed rack back here, the roof rack up top, those cargo boxes, the accessory lights. You can get all that stuff right from the Nissan accessory catalog. 17-inch beadlock wheels as well, and an entire Nismo high-performance suspension setup, which also lifts the truck. So a lot of what you see here, yeah, you could actually go and buy right now from a Nissan dealership. Well, now we'll go out back and take a look at some of those more unique features. And back here is where things get really fun. First of all, it starts with dual 43-inch TVs on either side of the back of this truck. And then we get the decked storage system, which allows us to bring along all this stuff. A powered cooler up there. You can see the grill, which is fitted on these custom mounts so it can flip down and actually stand there so you can make some food. We have more storage up here, a power inverter down below. Everything you're going to need to be out in the wilderness and enjoy this truck, whether you're camping or maybe you go out there to watch the big game. And then probably my favorite feature are the little cup holders on the suction cup and especially that paper towel holder that suctions to the side of your truck. Well, folks, now you have seen these cool concepts, but I have something more exciting, and that is a special guest. This is my friend David Chow from the Automotive Press YouTube channel. Thanks for stepping in here.
It's always fun to do collaboration with you, Steven. Happy to be here, and we can talk about trucks again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, David, I want to talk about the Frontier. We just recently did a comparison on our channel. We took the Frontier and a Ford Ranger and we compared them. And there's no doubt that the Frontier still really stands apart in the segment because of its engine, naturally aspirated V6, and then just the way it feels. Still has that heavy hydraulic steering, sort of the old school leaf springs. Feels like an old school truck.
Right, yeah.
But I'd be curious just to hear your thoughts, sort of where you think it fits into the marketplace, what do you think it does good, and what do you think it could do better on?
Right. Yeah, so like you and I both love trucks, and we have evaluated so many different trucks. Of course, Tacoma has been the kind of the sales leader of all the trucks. But Tacoma is now 2.4 turbo with or without hybrid, and most of other manufacturers have moved to smaller turbo 4 engine.
Right.
And we still have, Frontier with the old-fashioned, classic, naturally aspirated V6 engine. But also, it still has hydraulic power steering.
Right.
I can't think of any other trucks that still have a hydraulic power steering. I think they all moved to electric power steering.
Yeah.
And for those people who don't quite understand the difference, well, it's simply put, hydraulic power steering uses hydraulic pressure to move the steering to provide assist, versus electric power steering, which still uses rack and pinion oftentimes, but you lose the sensation and the feeling with electric power, no matter what they try to do. But with this kind of natural design of hydraulic steering, wow, you still get good hefty feel. It's heavy, it feels solid, and that truck feel is what we loved about the previous generation Tacoma, which still had hydraulic power steering as well, and that one also had naturally aspirated V6. So I feel like this is where Tacoma was, the Tacoma that we all love, and not that the new Tacoma isn't good, but it's lost that classic feel of a truck, body on frame truck. And Frontier, I think, really is the only one that has it now. It's still a Japanese brand with some of the Japanese engineering and quality that goes with it. It is built in Mexico, so maybe not quite the same kind of let's say quality as what we see from Japan, but still well built, and it's being reliable. It's easy to service, easy to maintain. So I actually really like the concept of Frontier because I think we kind of lost the art.
Sure. And it's funny because my gut feeling is usually to criticize a brand when the product doesn't change, when it starts to feel old.
Right.
But I think the other thing is true where you can say this thing is tried and tested. Nissan knows everything there is to know about this platform, how it works, what might fail, everything. So I do believe in that, the reliability is probably better here than on a brand new truck platform. So there's a positive there as well. Yeah,
so because every time they introduce a new model, it doesn't matter what brand, but even from Toyota, they kind of lose the little bit of that proven mentality, proven approach, and they get recalls, they get defects, which is unavoidable. But like you said, this has been around for a while. They keep refining it, and so it's pretty solid. For me, if I were to buy a truck right now, I would be inclined to buy the Frontier versus a Tacoma, for example. There's many other trucks that you drove, I drove. I recently drove the Gladiator and like a Ranger as well, and they're fantastic trucks too. But if I wanted a kind of Japanese branded truck, there's not too many choices. Honda doesn't quite count because it's not quite a real truck. It's still a truck, but not quite the same.
Yeah, that's a topic for a whole other video.
Yeah, exactly. And we can talk about that for 2 hours. But so I think there's something still, just something amazing and beautiful about the Frontier because of the classic nature that we just can't get anymore, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you, David. And I think on that note, we should wrap this one up. So you know what? We need to hear from the viewers now. Why don't you guys drop in the comments? Let us know what you think of the Frontier, of everything we just said, and of the comparison video we just did. And then as always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, head over to the Automotive Press YouTube channel and check out David's work because it is excellent. And then come right back here to see what we're testing next. Thanks, David.
Okay, good stuff.